Hey guys, welcome back to my next book preview video. This week we have an Iain McCaig sketchbook. So a quick look at the front and back there, you can see Iain McCaig Once Upon a Time in the sketchbook. This is a Design Studio press book and it's actually pretty wide, so it's pretty hard to fit on camera. But I am going to do my best. One thing to note, you might be able to tell, the cover is slightly embossed, or I'm not sure if that's the right word, but where it actually raises out here, which is pretty cool. But it does mean that sometimes you're left with a bit of a mark on this first page. So just something to note there. And this is, as you would expect, a sketchbook. So let's dive straight into it and look through these. First of all, right off the bat, any art book that's got dinosaurs in that are well drawn appeal to me. I find dinosaurs very difficult. But yeah, this sketchbook has just released at the time of me posting this video, maybe a couple of days before. I wasn't really sure whether to buy this one or not. Because I don't have any of Iain's other work, with the exception of, oh, by the way, there may be some mild nudity throughout like this, but with the exception of some Star Wars books, the Art of Star Wars books, which I absolutely love. A lot of those do have a lot of Iain's work in, actually. Especially the thing that comes to mind, actually, when I think of Iain's artwork is Star Wars. Although this looks very much Gandalf, Lord of the Ringsy, which... Again, I'm a massive Lord of the Rings nerd, so that's awesome. But yeah, I think of Star Wars, and I think especially of Darth Maul and Padme. I believe he was very involved with the design of those. I don't know whether there'll be any Star Wars in this book, though. But Iain does already have another art book as well. I believe it's called something like Shadowline. It's a pretty thick book, that one, really highly rated. I don't have it, but I would very much like to get my hands on it. I'm not sure why I haven't already bought that. I am skipping a few pages at a time, by the way, because this book is about 160 pages-ish, and I don't want to give everything away. This is kind of my first time looking through it. I flipped through a few pages and looked at a few previews online, which is what convinced me to buy it. I think this actually looks a bit like the cover of the Shadowline book that I mentioned. Really cool orcs. But yeah, so far it looks like this is going to be full of figure studies. I skipped a few of those because of the nudity. We've got animals, fantasy drawings like orcs and fairies and things like that. So I don't know a huge amount about Iain. I've always liked his works, but as mentioned, for me, when I think of Iain, it's more Star Wars. That's what I sort of know him as. But I know he's very involved with a lot of films. I'm sure he's worked on, I think he worked on the Avengers film, and also a few other big ones, well, probably quite a few big ones. I watched an interview where they mentioned that he worked on Terminator 2, which is a pretty huge thing. And this is the kind of design I picture Iain's work for, these sort of, not fairy, but mermaid, colourful, beautiful images like this. Absolutely stunning artwork. This book is absolutely packed with content. I will put links to any of his websites or anything that I can find online. From memory, I don't think he's on social media. I think he's on ArtStation, so I will put links to that. I'll put links to where I got the book from as well. I actually got this really cheap. It was only like £20. Oh, cool, look. We got some Star Wars stuff after all. That's awesome. That's so realistic. Well, as far as Yoda can be realistic. But yeah, this book, it only cost me about 20 quid. And when you consider that this is 160 pages... I think considering that, you probably will not find this book much cheaper than that. So it may even go up in price like the Shadowline book has, which is the one thing that has prevented me buying it recently. So definitely get your hands on this whilst you can. So yeah, I will put links to where I got it from in the description box below. And you can tell that Iain's an absolutely incredible illustrator. Not just his sketches, which, you know, sketchbooks are my favourite, but there is a lot of like more rendered coloured work in here as well. But he also is known to be a very good teacher. I believe that there's a few online courses with him teaching. I don't know what they are off the top of my head, but I will put links to anything I can find in the description box below. As mentioned, he's very involved with film. I believe he's done a lot of animation. One interview that I saw actually said he did some directing, as well as being very involved with like storytelling and things like that. So, you know, extremely talented. But yeah, this stuff is absolutely incredible. I've seen a few designs throughout that are like tree-like designs, almost like Ents from Lord of the Rings and stuff. I always think they're really cool. And then even a few sort of creepier designs throughout. The There's a few like this that do remind me of like wizards from Lord of the Rings. I'm not sure if that's what they're from. I'm not sure what a lot of the stuff in here is from, but if you guys do know, please let me know in the comments, because I would love to learn more about Iain. I'm definitely going to see what other books he's got. I'm definitely going to get my hands on the Shadowline one. I would show that one on camera as well when I get it, but I think there's already absolutely tons of previews of them ones. But we are getting to the end of the book there, guys. I've skipped an awful lot of it because I don't want to show too much of it or give too much of it away. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching, everyone.